να πάρω και τη σκητάλη. Ευχαριστώ. Και να την παραδώσω αμέσως στην κυρία Σαρτόρη. Είπαμε ότι είμαστε διεθνές συνέδριο. Η κυρία Σαρτόρη είναι από την Nokia Services and Networks, Head of Customer Marketing για την Νοτιοανατολική Ευρώπη. Κυρία Σαρτόρη,
okay.
the floor is yours.
Let's see. Do you hear me? Okay, fantastic. Okay, καλημέρα. Του όνομά μου Francesca Sartori. Είμαι από την Ιταλία και είμαι πολύ χαρούμενη που βρίσκομαι εδώ. Okay, this is maximum my Greek. Now I need to switch in English, and hopefully it's much clearer. Okay, so in the next 15 minutes, I will present you the big data concept. So I don't know how many of you has already heard about this big data. Let's see if we can learn something more. Okay. Spend 2 seconds on you, not me. You, please. Think about one word that comes in your mind about big data. Structure. Unstructured. What else? What do you feel when I speak or when I tell you big data? Something big, huge, volume, terabyte, kilobyte, exabyte, right? Usually, big data is always mapped in something very complicated, very big to be analyzed. So why then hundreds of analysts are writing thousands of articles just for this processing power? So why we need to pay attention to this big data concept is only a matter of power processing. Perhaps it was very important 10 years ago, 15 years ago, with our PC in that time, those times, that they were not so powerful as today. But today we shouldn't be worried about big data analysis, big data understanding, processing, right? So most probably there is something more. Let's make an example. You want to, but volume in some way is something that we need to consider. So interesting. It's me. Is it on cloud? It's on cloud. Don't stop the countdown because. Okay, I go ahead with some example. Okay, you want to, volume is, okay, let's consider volume as part of this concept because anyway we are speaking about that database. Then you want to looking for a car. You Google car and which are the outcome? What do you expect? First of all, what do you expect? And second, how long are you available to wait for an outcome? Do you Google car and then you go take a coffee? Doesn't sound good? No, you Google car and in few milliseconds you want to see something on your screen, right? Right. Meaning that you want to have something that is able to process this big amount of data in almost real time. So on top of volume is also velocity, speed. So you need to process a lot of data in short time. Second, when you Google car, what do you expect? Ferrari. And Google give you Ferrari. Fantastic. Ferrari is a car, right? But only Ferrari? Okay, perhaps it's a very nice car, I understand, but not all people here can afford a Ferrari. Perhaps is willing to have a different brands, different segments, different pricing, right? So you want to have a variety. So meaning that we have a volume, velocity, real time, and variety. So you don't want only one outcome, but a lot of different items. So meaning that we need in the big data to process a huge amount of data in the short time, but from different sources. And then there is another, I'm sorry. Go. Okay, and then if the outcome is not giving a right indication, perhaps instead of Ferrari, they come to you with Ferraro, or Ferrarelle, or Ferraris. It's not a car. So the outcome must be reliable. So you need to have a powerful database process able to filter the right data from a lot of resources, give you in short time a reliable outcome, right? This is much more than big and volume only, correct? And last but not least, I make an example. Yesterday I was looking for a nice picture to include in my nice presentation, okay, about Greece. And then I Googled Athens. I found in short time a lot of pictures from different perspectives, night and day, from the helicopter, from inside, only Parthenon. Come on. Athens and Greece is not only Parthenon. There are seas, there are a lot of other factors or other important aspects. It's not only Parthenon. So which is the added value from that research? Nothing. Oh, it's back. It's back. So volume, velocity, variety, veracity, okay, reliable, and volume. There is not. And value. So I need to get something that's useful for me. So in yesterday's example, I found in short time a lot of pictures with different perspectives, but only Parthenon. So it didn't give me any added value. So as you see, big data is much, much more than an analysis of volume. And then big, in fact, if you read a lot of newspaper or article, the big is one of the biggest misleading word for this concept. This must be clear, because this means that you can apply this concept to many, many different companies, many, many different segments, not only to Amazon or Google or such kind of big data consulting engineering, okay? Who introduced in our world this big data concept? Let's continue calling it big data as long as somebody invents another title. Not the telecommunication, not at all. They started 15, 20 years ago with a completely different market. So retailer, bank, UPS, so transportation, completely different segment, that they were looking for something to optimize their cost. What does it mean for us? That we have something there that we can take and move to the telecommunication environment, so we have some lesson learned. And which are the most important? First, clarity. What does it mean? You need to have a clear target. It makes no sense to think about to have a fantastic project with 1,000 resources, with a lot of cost and a lot of investment for what? Because at the end of the day, we have a lot of real examples that this kind of project failed. So we can, the first lesson learned is to really target a small, a simple example, target at the beginning, getting your knowledge, and then extend the target. UPS, you know, everybody knows who is UPS. It's very simple. They started 15 years ago, try to optimize their maintenance downtown. So they have more than 90,000 trucks, and all of them need maintenance. And then you can imagine how many hours that overall those trucks were down, stopped. So they had a very clear target to minimize these hours. So, but in that time, nobody was speaking about data, big data. So they tried to collect few data, and then they were able to optimize this hour, okay? But after having created this platform, this knowledge, they extended to another much more important target, to minimize, to optimize the oil consumptions. In 1 year, after extending this extra data target, they were able to save 1.4 million gallons of oil. You can imagine how much is the volume in terms of money here. So as you see, they started with a simple target, and then as soon as they consolidated the knowledge, they extended for other one. First lesson. Second lesson, skills. Tesco is another US company, is a shop chain, and they invented the family card or the fidelity card. Do you have it here in Greece? So where you have like a mice and more, just to name one. So this Tesco wanted to give some special discount to their most important client, but how to identify this client? So, but they didn't have any knowledge about how to deal with the data, to process the data. So they agree with another partner that they used to have this knowledge in order to looking for some specific to optimize, to identify among the million of clients which are the most important one. So, and also here, second lesson, if you have a clear target, looking for the right partner, do not create inside your company something that you don't have yet. First, create your knowledge, and then extend it internally. Third one, tools, Netflix. I guess that all of you have heard about this Netflix. They wanted to increase their predictable rate. What does it mean? They realized that after 6-7 months, having their subscriber left Netflix subscription. Why? Because after 6-7 months, all the people, or the majority of people, have already watched the movies they knew, and they were not able to find something new. So they didn't want to pay a subscription fee for nothing. And so Netflix invented an algorithm in order to provide to this subscriber additional title close to their requirement based on the rate they gave in the past for the previous movies. And then they try to improve this predictable rate in order to provide the subscriber additional title and to make them willing to stay with their fee. They made a kind of a competition in order to find the best algorithms ever, okay? They found, but the algorithm was so complicated that at the end they didn't implement it, which is the lesson learned here. So pay attention, do not over-dimension your tool, otherwise never pay back your return of investment. So you need to have a good trade-off between what you want to invest and what you want to achieve. 2 minutes. Value, this is very nice. Your client, your subscription, your users needs to understand that there is an added value behind this kind of project. Target is in a UK company, market company, and they were looking for some list of their clients in order to proactively propose some special shopping kits. In this particular example, they promote the pregnancy kits, and they were sending this pregnancy kit in advance to the potential ladies willing to have a baby. So far, so good. So they send this pregnancy kit to a teenager, 16 years old. You can imagine her father. Her father was completely upset and make a very big noise against this target company, telling, you cannot allow to send to my daughter something to push her to get pregnant, which is the truth. The lady, the teenager was pregnant, but she didn't know yet, and after 2 weeks, she realized that she was pregnant. So, chapeau for the algorithms, because the algorithms identify her, but which is the added value here for the client. So we need to pay attention when we extend this algorithm or this analysis outside to our client, to our users, in order to make them still confident, always confident, that their personal information are always protected and they have the control of their information. So these are 4 major lessons learned that we need to keep in mind when we are speaking or we want to introduce or implement something in our network, in our company about this big data concept, so some data analysis. So I will move faster because it's almost finished. Why the telecommunication is not yet well implemented? Because there are 2 major blocking points. Silos, what does it mean? That we have a lot of information in our network, but stored in a lot of different departments that many times are not communicating each other. So we have information in the billing data center, information in network planning, information in the radio department, information in the user department, and all of them usually do not speak each other. But if you want to have a very nice and well-performing algorithm, you need to combine all together. And this is something that the operation has, they are organized in their organization. It's something that there are difficulties to overcome. The second point is, where is the business case? Because if you start with a huge network planning optimization, and you need a lot of investment, it's very difficult to find a business plan, starting for the small project. How we can introduce? With the 3 steps. Efficiency, perhaps we can start with the network efficiency. Operator and us, and all of us, have already this knowledge, so we can address a small target to improve our network efficiency. Then we can extend, as soon as we have these silos broken, we can extend and to expand to customer experience, to improve our customer willingness to have something better than only some voice call or data demand only. And the third step would be also to involve third parties, where either to sell in a database or to cooperate to provide a new application. So there are 3 short, medium, long-term possible solutions with the big data. And then here, very fast, the lesson learned. So clarity, to have a very simple target in mind at the beginning in order to start and create the knowledge. To create the skills, and in case to cooperate with somebody outside of the company, not to be arrogant, okay? Try to looking for somebody that can help you to increase your knowledge. Tool, be careful. If you are looking for some big project, the tool and the resources you might need are really expensive. And then you need always keep in mind your subscriber, your client. You need to provide an added value. Otherwise, you have like a target problem. And big data is meaning to find the right data. Right data is not much more important than big data, okay? So meaning that you need to be able to filter properly, to break the silos among our company, to find the sponsorship that usually the CXO people, because they are on the top of the chain and they can coordinate all the silos. And last but not least, make your subscriber or your users, client, feeling that their information are under their control. Okay, very fast.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Francesca.